Welcome to the top of the morning show. It's your girl TT from the D. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Are you ready for Thanksgiving tomorrow for those of you that celebrate the holiday? And for those of you that don't celebrate the holiday, that's okay. It's a day that even if you don't celebrate it and you work in a business, organization, company that honors Thanksgiving, then you have the day off tomorrow. And I hope that you make the best of it. I don't care if that means sleep in. Get up and do some things you haven't done, visit some family, some friends, or binge watch something you've been wanting to watch, whatever that looks like for you. If you're spending time with family and friends, salute to you. Make memories every opportunity and every chance you get, ladies and gentlemen. Today's hot topic, we're going to talk about high emotional intelligence and low emotional intelligence. Now, I know some of you may think you know what that looks like in a person or even in yourself, but do you really? See, there's a gap often that comes down to self-awareness for those of us that think we know. Those with low emotional intelligence can act in ways that many may say negatively impact others without even realizing it. And I think a lot of times we don't look at stuff like that. Like, oh, they're low emotionally intelligent, so that's why they do this, that, and the third. We could think like they're just being a complete A. Jack A. You know what I mean. Not Jack A like in 227, but a Jack A double letter word, right? And high emotional intelligence, however, allows people to understand and managing not only their own emotions, but also those that they are close to around here. And I do believe it's crucial to understand the two signs, or the difference between the two. Not two signs, but the difference between the two. So I wanted to share with you 9 little pieces that could help you be able to kind of look at that. And even look at yourself, because there's nothing better than taking a look at ourselves. Number 1, struggles. They struggle with empathy. It's hard to believe it, but one of the most telling signs of a low emotional intelligent person is the lack of empathy. Because empathy is the ability to understand and care about how someone else feels outside of yourself, right? It's actually something that allows us to help build personal and professional relationships with people. Now, I have to say this, those with low emotional intelligence often struggle to recognize emotions in others. It's a proven fact. The data shows it. Number 2, difficulty maintaining friendships. Shoot. Now, let me tell you. Let's call this person Tony, Terry, Tiffany. They could be a loving person, but they have a tendency to let their emotions get to the best of them, right? And they often misinterpret what people's words and actions really mean, and they take it to heart personally and offensively. And sometimes it's not even intended to be that way, but unfortunately, people like what I just said, and we're going to use those little names, even though these are not real people, real names, but not real people, just an example of what that could look like. They take it to heart, and they're pissed. Some people end friendships because of a lack of understanding, or I should say misunderstanding. Then they start to have conflict, and you're looking like, how did we even get here? Right? They also have a hard time recognizing when other people are upset, right? And you may have noticed that he or she rarely apologizes unless someone really confronts them about how they're acting. And it's crazy because it can affect the long term of a friendship, or better yet, a relationship. Imagine being married or dating someone exclusively for a long time, and this is how they behave. That's going to be very hard. It's very hard, right? It's hard to pour into that relationship when you feel like it's going nowhere. Number 3, overreacting to criticism. Now, growing up, you probably heard the cliche, and then we pretty much know that constructive criticism is healthy, right? But a person with low emotional intelligence doesn't have the ability to handle criticism constructively. They don't. They tend to overreact, take it personal, feel like they're being picked on, ridiculed, and that's not the case all the time. Their perception makes them get into defense mode, and they just sometimes will get out of hand. But they have to learn how to handle the feedback without overreacting, and that's hard. It's a challenge for most. And a lot of times I think people want to be able to do that, but they don't have the necessary tools. Number 4, difficulty expressing feelings. Now, people with low emotional intelligence often struggle to express their feelings effectively. Yeah, I know you might say, what? Or you might look at or think about somebody and you're like, oh, that explains it. Right? Improving our emotional intelligence helps us to be able to recognize how other people are feeling, what we can do, and how we can do it. 5, impulsive behaviors. Another common behavior amongst those with low emotional intelligence is the impulsivity. They react quickly, on an impulse, on a fly, as we would say. But we have to, high emotional intelligent person knows how to respond rather than react. They're more thoughtful, they're more caring, they're more concerned. Number 6, struggle with awareness, self-awareness at that. It's one of the most heartfelt aspects of low emotional intelligence is a struggle with their self-awareness. However, people with low emotional intelligence often lack that. While on the opposite side, people with a high emotional intelligence, they soar in it. It oozes out of them. Number 7, difficulty reading social cues. Now, social cues are crucial. We have them in our face day to day. They help us to understand the emotions. We can read a room, as some people would say. However, a person that has low emotional intelligence, they can't read a room. They can't read it. And you looking like, wow, you couldn't tell. And it's like, they're looking like, no. It's like, okay. But when we improve our emotional intelligence, whether it's low or high, we learn to really interpret what those social cues look like. It's like an unspoken language, right? Number 8, difficulty managing stress. Heck, I think that's on low and high if you really want to know. People with low and high emotional intelligence often find it challenging to manage stress effectively because life is lifing. And we are stressing more and more in today's time than I think ever before. At least from what I can see, the data that we have to kind of compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges. Stressful situations can trigger intense emotions and reactions, right? And when we try to build and improve it, it just helps us to create mindful moments. You might want to take some mindful techniques, learning to breathe, learning to have a physical activity that you can go to when you're feeling like you're just about to fall off the deep end. Number 9, and the final one, lack of emotional boundaries is the most crucial thing to understand about a low emotional intelligent person. They don't know about boundaries. See, high intelligent emotional people understand there are boundaries and we need to respect those. We know how to establish those. But the low impacted people, they don't. And when they do know that they need to, they're so stuck on themselves that they just really like, that's your problem. You the one with the problem. And I used to think the person with the problem is the person with the problem, but no. The person with the problem can sometimes see things that the person that is causing the problem is not even aware of or don't really care about seeing. I know that means I said a lot. I know I said a lot, but it's facts. As you soar in life, developing who you are, who God wanted you to be, meaning created you to be, I'd say. Don't lose sight of who you are, who you're meant to be, your level of intelligence. Don't dumb yourself down. Don't dim your life for nobody. If they can't keep up with you, I don't know what to tell them. And it's not about keeping up with you. It ain't about you keeping up with them. It's about you being who you are in the moment of time in which God said this is your time to live and live great. Now, as we get ready to go on and about the holiday tomorrow, for those that's celebrating and those that's not, remember, take it one step at a time. I don't care what level of intelligence you have. Now, that was just data I shared because I love to share substance and data. But I just want you to take in consideration that you are who you are, wonderfully and beautifully made. You don't have to be like her. You don't have to be like him. You don't have to be like them. Take tomorrow and just look at what you're thankful for. You'd be surprised. I plan to do the same. There will be no show tomorrow, right? We are taking a hiatus. We will not have a show tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday due to the holiday. We'll be traveling, and many people will be, but we'll get back to the hustle and bustle of life on Monday. So I hope that you have a wonderful, safe day off or holiday tomorrow. I hope that you spend time with yourself, with your family, with your friends, and be kind to yourself if nothing else. That's all I got for you today. It's your girl, TT from the D. I'll see you soon.